Man, these things just always tick me off. These type of apples and oranges comparisons that try to talk about how terrible a 401k is versus really anything else is just so misleading. So let's take a minute and kind of learn something about how 401k works. So first things here, 401k, no guarantees, index universal life, guarantees. Well, that's just really misleading. And the fact is, like, an IUL is just a life insurance contract, and there are guarantees built into that contract, like with many types of contracts. A 401k is not a product, it's just an account type. So while there's no like guarantees from an insurance point of view, the money that you've put in there that you have contributed is yours. The employer money, the employer match that they've put in could be, yours at a certain point due to a vesting schedule, either, like I said, either through a schedule or through the cliff method where it's just not yours one day and all yours the next. So it's just kind of a silly comparison talking about guarantees for two different types of things. All right, next, variable in the 401k, indexed in index universal life. What you have inside the 401k are different types of investment options. And like any real investment option, it could go up, it could go down. You could have index funds, you could have actively managed funds, you can have stock funds, bond funds, US funds, international funds. And a lot of times there's also, money market cash equivalent funds that you could put in your 401k. Well, the indexed on the index universal life part is just kind of this more complicated indexing strategy where they're buying options against the index that you have selected within the policy. And like, it's just kind of another one of those, that comparison is just silly, variable versus index. All right, next, pay taxes on retirement, tax-free retirement in the IUL. Well, again, just really misleading. It depends on the type of contributions that you're making inside of the 401k. If you're doing traditional contributions where you are deferring taxes now, so you're not paying tax on the money now, and then you're gonna pay it later when you withdraw it from your 401k, then yeah, you're gonna pay taxes on retirement. But like 80+% of 401k plans nowadays have Roth options. So if you're doing it Roth-wise, pay tax now, have a tax-free withdrawals in retirement, then that whole tax-free retirement argument is just silly and misleading. All right, next, market loss versus principal protection. Again, it's another apples and oranges comparison. Market loss, they're kind of just saying, like right here, you're gonna 100% lose money in a 401k and you're guaranteed to make money in an IUL. Well, again, that's just nonsensical. Back to my point earlier, it depends on what you have invested within the 401k. And if you have a long time horizon, volatility can sometimes be your friend. It gives you the opportunity to buy in at lower cost than you would if you're buying in at higher, basically the top of the market. And principal protection. Yeah, there's principal protection within an IUL. Again, it's an insurance contract. Another apples and oranges comparison. All right, next we got age rules versus no age rules. Well, yeah, so the tax benefits that are within a 401k causes the government to place certain restrictions on the age that you can withdraw money in a 401k. And since an IUL is not considered as tax advantaged of a retirement plan, it's not really generally supposed to be a retirement plan when it was initially conceived, it doesn't have those same age restrictions. And there's plenty of other types of things out there that don't have age restrictions as well, like a taxable brokerage account. And finally, the whole age restriction thing, you can never get to your money inside your 401k until you're 59 and a half without penalties, is really a myth. There are many ways that you can access the money within your 401k without having to pay the 10% penalty to the IRS. And just to name a few, you can take a loan out of your 401k. There's hardship withdrawals that many plans allow you to take out money penalty-free as long as you meet certain criteria. You can take money out penalty-free for certain education expenses, for buying a first-time house. And there's also something called series of substantially equal payments where you can take money out of your 401k before you're 59 and a half. And as long as you follow a predetermined formula, which I'm not going to bore you with, as long as you take money out for 5 years or until you reach the age of 59 and a half, whatever's less, you're not going to have to pay that 10% penalty. All right, next we got no additional death benefit versus additional death benefit. Well, yeah, once again, another silly apples and oranges comparison. One is a account type that gives you advantages for saving for retirement, and the other is a life insurance contract. Which one do you think is going to have a life insurance death benefit? It's just kind of a silly knock on a 401k that doesn't have an insurance feature that an insurance contract has. And then finally, no living benefits versus living benefits. Again, just another thing where they're applying life insurance characteristics and life insurance terms to a 401k. Yeah, of course you're not going to have things like long-term care rider options on a 401k, because again, say it with me, a 401k is not a freaking life insurance contract. So these whole just stupid comparison things you'll see all over TikTok, all over LinkedIn, where, the whole implication of the thing, just look at it. The 401k is in red with a big X and the IUL is in green with a check. These are stupid. And if you see anybody putting anything as just mind-numbingly foolish as this, don't take anything they're saying at face value. I've never seen anybody put anything like this out into the world unless they are selling an IUL. You've never seen a comprehensive financial planner or other type of financial advisor out there singing constantly about the joys of IUL and knocking everything else. The only people you ever see doing that are people that sell it. So don't fall for their BS. Don't fall for these just totally misleading apples and oranges comparisons.